Hello and welcome to the first video of a Godot platformer series, where you will create a full platformer game. Start by opening the Godot game engine and creating a new project. I will name mine Platformer Tutorial. Once the project is open, create 3 folders called Art, Scenes, and Scripts. For this tutorial, we will be using the Abstract Platformer Art Pack from Kenny. You can find the download link in the description. Right-click on the Abstract Art folder and extract it to a new folder. You can then open the new folder and take out the PNG folder, and delete the other files. Then simply drag and drop the PNG file into the art folder. Now that we have our art imported, we can start by creating the first scene. Click on 2D and add a new node, name it World. This will be our root node, which is required to save the scene. You can then press Ctrl S to save it in the Scenes folder. Now that our first scene is ready, let's create our player character. Add a new child to the World node, which will be a kinematic body 2D, as we would like to control the player's physics ourselves. Name it Player. And now add an animated sprite, so that we are able to see and animate it. Go to the inspector and add a new sprite frame. We want this to be our idle animation, so make the FPS 0 and set loop to off. You can then add the blue player standing sprite from your PNG folder. As you can see, our player character is now visible. But it has no collisions yet, so add a new child to our player, which will be a collision shape 2D. Set the shape to capsule in the inspector, and adjust its size in your viewport. Make sure you adjust it using the points around the capsule, and not the ones around the rectangle. Once the size is set, hide the collision shape in the inspector. Now right-click on the player and click Save Branch as Scene, save it in your Scenes folder. This makes our player character have its own separate scene so that it's easier to edit. You can click on the Scenes icon next to it to go to the player scene. Now click on the play icon to view the scene. You will be asked to select a main scene, so select the world scene. Now as you can see, we have our player character, but it's unable to move left or right when I press A or D, but before we fix that, let's change our game window size to 1280 by 720 in the project settings. Now click on the player and add a new script, save it in your scripts folder. This will handle most of the player functionality. When the script is open, delete everything after the hashtags. The hashtags allow you to write out anything without affecting the script, so that you know what code does what. It is very important and I will be using it a lot. Now let's create a speed variable which will be a vector 2, so that we can change the x and y speed of the player. In the process function, we will have 2 if statements to check if the right or left button is pressed. These buttons can be added in the input map under project settings. Godot will already have a left and right button already set up for you, we just want to add the ability to call them using the keys A and E. Now let's add the two if statements, which simply say if the player pressed right button which is set as UI right, set the speed X to 300, and if he pressed the left button which is set as UI left, set the speed X to -300. We use .x because it is a vector value with the X and Y values, but we want to change the horizontal movement. If we play and press A or D, nothing happens. This is because we only set the speed values, but didn't tell Godot what to do with it. However, we can check if the inputs are indeed working by using the print function. The print function will print something in the output log. Now we can add the function that enables the player to move. It is the move and slide function. However, this function is better used under physics process instead of process, so that it synchronizes with the physics engine. So let's fix that. The move and slide function takes two vector2 values. The first value is linear velocity, which we will set as speed. The second value is the floor normal, which Godot needs to be able to know what direction is up. We will fix that by creating a new vector2 value and calling it up. Set its x value to 0 and y value to -1. You can then add this value to the move and slide function. You can then play and press it to move left, or D to move right. However, there is a problem. The player does not stop moving if the keys are released. We will fix that by changing our second if statement to an else if statement. This in turn allows us to create an else statement which stops that player by setting speed X to 0. Now if you play, you can see that the player stops moving when the keys are released. However, there is one final problem. The movement feels very sticky. This can be fixed by using the lerp function. This function decreases a value, in this case our speed X, to another value, in this case 0, but smoothly over a float weight, which you can set to 0.2. Now if we move our player to the middle and play, you can see that everything works perfectly. This will be it for the first video in this series. In the next video we will be adding gravity and jumping. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.